Alright, so I figured today would be a good day to give you guys a good walk around of this 62 Nova I have over here. Alright, so here we have the 62 Nova that I kind of touched briefly on in my first video that I released. And I figured today we can go ahead and talk a little bit more about it. I recently purchased it from my wife's uncle, who had gotten it from his dad, who had gotten it from a neighbor. Now the story I got was the guy the original owner of it, had this car and a Chevy truck, but the engine went out in the truck, blew up. So he pulled the engine out of this Nova, engine and transmission out, and went ahead and put it into his truck. I guess it was a work truck or something, so he had to get to work, had to use it for work, and that was more important. So after taking the engine out, this thing had sat ever since, and then now here it is in my garage. Give me some light here. You kind of can see, shock towers are pretty clean. I mean, they're just surface rust, nothing really, no holes. The only holes it really has is, it has some holes over here in the fender. One back there, some little holes up here. I haven't really seen anything in this front area as far as holes go. I'm not really sure what that is. It almost looks like it might be a washer fluid pump. That's kind of cool. But yeah, it was a six-cylinder car. It has automatic transmission, or it did. So let's see here. If you can see down in here, there's a couple of huge holes. So the floor is pretty well gone. I don't know if I'm going to end up having to put a whole new floor pan in it. I mean, back here, the whole floor is shot. Seats are seen better days, but it has pretty much everything still in it. I mean, it has the old radio, which that's kind of cool. Yeah, it shows it's got fuel in it, but I doubt that's a true reading. I think it's just stuck. If you look at the odometer here, maybe. It has 54,639 miles. So I'm going to say that's pretty much actual mileage on this thing. But like I said, it had the engine pulled out of it earlier on in its life, and it's sat ever since. And then I think it spent some time in a garage with the windows all down. Let's see if we get the light in here on the trunk. I mean, the trunk floor, it looks like there's a little bit of rust here and there, but it looks pretty well solid still. I mean, the inner fenders are still painted gray. I think it should be able to clean up. Maybe some rust, as you can see right there. It may have to be patched, but nothing too hateful back here. It's going to need quarters because the quarters are rusted here. And down in there, it's probably pretty common. But yeah, overall, the quality of this thing is pretty decent. Let's see what else. This thing, I'm gonna say it was a roller paint or something. I don't know. Maybe just a rattle can. Someone rattle canned it this light blue color. I mean, they did a decent job because there is no paint on the trim whatsoever, but the original paint color, as you can see, is this white color. As you can see underneath, everything is all white. So, it's pretty cool. Now, the plan is I want to put a Mustang 2 front suspension on this, or similar, for most importantly, the biggest thing I want to do is what we're going to end up doing is moving the steering box, get rid of the steering box, put a rack and pinion in it, so then the steering bar is no longer back there. It would actually be in the front. It will handle a lot better, plus whenever putting an engine in, I'll have to make sure I go around that bar. It'll be moved all to the front and be all out of the way. Engine wise, the plan is right now is I would really like to find an LS of some sort. I'm not really picky. I had 4.8 all the way up to 6.2 or whatever I can find. I'm not sure the plan on how I'm going to get that. I've had some ideas, but it's going to take a little bit of time till we get to that, because right now money is key. Obviously it needs a whole new floor pan, fenders, and rear quarters, full interior. But other than that, the glass is good. I think the wing windows are about the only thing that are broken that I can see. But it does have, these rear quarter windows are pretty cool. I don't know if I can get them down, but it's a no post car. I think it's a pretty sought after kind of car. The only thing it had not going for it was a 6-cylinder. But I ended up getting this car because I have the 62 Studebaker, which is over there, which once I finish some of these projects in my garage and get that unburied, I'll pull that outside and actually get some videos of that. So the biggest reasoning behind getting the Nova was the fact that I wanted something that I could just play around with, have fun with, and make it into a nice everyday cruiser. You know, drop an engine in it that has fuel injection on it. That way it starts every time. Put upgraded suspension and, you know, brakes and all that stuff. So it's just easier to drive. The Studebaker, when it comes to suspension parts, brakes, and all that stuff, there are a few parts out there to do that to them, but it's not as readily available as you would find on the 62 Novas. Not to mention, my vision with the Studebaker is to keep it 100% as it came out of the factory. I mean, it's a pretty rare car. Once I finally get around to telling you all about it, it's got a lot of options. It's pretty neat. But yeah, the plan is to get most of the bodywork done on the Studebaker. I want to say probably 80 to 90% of the metal I need to finish all the bodywork. So that's going to be my main goal once I get some of these projects out of my way, by wood projects that is. And then probably after that point, depending on what I'm going to do with the car, I mean, I might sell it. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of in the works. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. But once I get that to a point where it's gone, or I have some extra cash that I want to throw at the Nova, probably throw it at the Nova and get it rolling. Depends on what comes my way. I mean, you know, sky's the limit, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.